In this overview, we'll show you the highlights of Strategic Workforce Planning, a new driver-based cloud service that helps human resource executives and stakeholders ensure that they have the right people with the right skills at the right time to meet strategic objectives. You can align your daily operations with strategic goals using the following capabilities: detailed skills assessment to rank employees by provided and custom categories for strategic jobs, skills gap analysis to identify the future competency levels required for strategic jobs, demand planning to identify the workforce needed to meet strategic objectives using custom demand drivers and targets, supply planning to calculate the expected turnover for the existing workforce, and supply versus demand variance analysis. To target only the jobs that drive your strategic goals, you can configure the job type attribute dimension to distinguish between strategic and non-strategic jobs. You can also customize and extend your planning by enabling additional features and defining skills, categories, and demand drivers on the Configure page. Let's explore the key features of this planning process. On Overview, you can view basic information about your employees and jobs, and specify the optional average compensation if you want to identify the financial impact. Using the job type attribute dimension, you can view this information for strategic jobs. On Skills Assessment Summary, you can evaluate employees by business unit using provided or custom categories and rankings. This identifies the competency categories and employee skills in each business unit. On Skills by Category, you can evaluate workforce skills by provided categories or categories that you create on the Configure page. On Skills by Employee, you can perform gap analysis to identify where additional training or guidance is needed, or if it makes more sense to hire new employees. With demand planning, you can proactively identify the resources, headcount, and FTE required by business unit or job to meet your driver-based strategic goals. You can enter demand driver data and use the following provided calculation logic: previous year ratio, demand driver divided by rate, demand driver multiplied by rate, or custom to specify your own driver calculation formula, and assign drivers and targets to identify the FTE and compensation by business unit or job for the job types key to your strategic goals. You can further define drivers by setting assumptions, overriding calculations at the job level, and entering demand rate and productivity scaling to use what-if planning given gains or losses in productivity. You can also adjust the calculated FTE by job or business unit and view the average job compensation based on your FTE calculations. Next, use supply planning to assess your current workforce using drivers like attrition by age band or job and expected retirements to determine if you'll have the necessary workforce to achieve your strategic objectives. Last, use gap analysis to plan how to close the gap between demand and supply, such as making new hires. In this overview, we showed you the highlights of strategic workforce planning. To learn more, visit cloud.oracle.com.